Good morning, Chris. How's it going?
Man, you had me nervous there for a minute.
I had a little mouse problem.
Gotcha. A little mouse problem. Hopefully it wasn't chewing on your wires.
No, my mouse went dead on my computer. So I was like, shoot. So just delayed me for a couple seconds. So, hey, happy after 4th of July.
Yeah, you mean after what sounded like World War III?
Yeah, we had, Big Bear's got a big fireworks show, and I think this year they went to the next level on it because they didn't have it last year, So I think they really took it up a notch. So it freaked our dogs out just a little bit.
Yeah, no, mine was I have, my two dogs, one of them does just great. The other one is scared as hell of the fireworks, and she shakes and shivers the whole time.
Yeah, well, it's funny because they did pretty well. Minion, of course, thinks he's going to go in attack mode, and World War III starting, and he's on the front lines, but he's this big, so he got a little tough. But hey, I'm really excited about this podcast, and here's why: it's called "When It Comes to Building a Lifestyle Business or an Entire Empire, Slow, Smooth, and Smooth is Fast." And I think this message needs to be heard by a lot of people. And it's just a reminder. And then, it's also, I had this chronic disease when I was younger. And even as I got older at different times in my careers, go hard, go big, go fast now. And I want to tell you, almost every time it bit me in the butt. It bit me in the butt when you get a little fast. So we went public yesterday. Hey, I'm sitting on the new bar, and my idea didn't work. So
it didn't work.
It didn't work. So we got those guys. We got a new podcast bar, but the problem is the stools came with it are about 4 inches too short, and so we've got. I figured out a way to measure it to get it up to the perfect height, but it was just my measuring. What my platform I built was a little unstable, and so I didn't want to be able to do the podcast and peel off onto the floor. And so
now, is it the stools that are too short, or the guy sitting on them?
Yeah. You know what? It even come up to here on you. How tall are you?
5'10".
You're full of shit. You're taller than that.
No, I'm 5'10".
You're full of crap. Full of crap. So hey, but it's cool, and I can't wait to start using it when people are actually here. But we'll get the stools figured out. So. But even somebody 6 foot tall, they're on the short side,
Yeah.
Schools are on the short side. So, we released that we're doing Air Force One. It was a real big challenge. We didn't do it last year, just because everything was going down, and then this year we got real late funding, but it's got to be a small team, 20 people versus 60 to 70 people.
Right.
So, that was fun seeing the 20 go live go out and go active yesterday. Shane up in Oregon's already been on TV.
Yeah, and we're working on something with Chris Lee in Oregon as well.
Yeah.
So he's getting some coverage, it looks like, but which is pretty awesome. But yeah, the guys got to go live with their announcements yesterday. Everything came together really last minute, so it's been a lot of work, but I think it's going to come together just great.
Yeah, so we're set, and we're going to be fun. So watch that, guys, because anybody that's in the industry, just support the efforts. A lot of things go into this, and it's really, I think it's made an impact on the industry wide over the years, just to legitimize some of it. I've heard from people all over the world, that recognize this back when we first started doing it. The internet was around, but there was no there's a couple boards. Remember when online boards, where you put a tag and then it kept coming down, There's some boards, and then as we got into by 03, 04, we were starting to get some forums, but it was pretty late. So okay, so I know what's on this shirt. What do you got on your shirt this time?
Well, that's funny because Sarah just asked where you get the PNS shirts, and so the one Rennie's wearing, you can buy that actually directly from PNS.
Yeah,
I think it's right on their website.
You see, I'll show you the back.
Yep,
kind of cool. So
my shirt today, this one's cool. This is This is the 550 Spider, the Porsche 550 Spider, owned by James Dean. So this is number 130 on the side. It's known as Little Bastard, and it's the one that he crashed in and died in up in Northern California.
But it's an interesting story on that, because that car wasn't done when James Dean got killed. Have you heard the story behind all the parts that went out on it?
Well, I haven't heard too much, but I do know that there was just like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, somebody claiming to have the original transaxle to it, which is just the transmission and the axles and the wheel hubs. He sold it on Bring a Trailer for over $300,000.
Oh yeah. No. Well, here's the story. It's different parts. The engine went somewhere. People bought it, and basically immediately following, anybody that put that into a car basically got in a crash and died.
It's haunted.
Yeah. Seriously. I mean, you go back and Google it. It's pretty interesting. Even something instrumental, like, something that was left behind, is it was kind of jinxed. And
yeah.
So, go. I can't remember the exact story. It's been some time since I've researched it, but and then I'm gonna take and just give a little. You can see the swirl salt truck, our shop truck. We've had that. We built that 5 years ago, and I'm just gonna give a little teaser. I'm gonna see that right there. Should I go a little more? There's a little bit. There's the new.
That was hiding back there pretty good.
Yeah. There's the new shop truck. So we're going to announce that here shortly. We've got a lot of work to do, but we'll tell you what it is. So hey,
let's real quick, while we're on the subject of shirts, I just want to give a little shout out to William Lara. He's doing a little promo with his business, Miami Lux Detailing. He's got some t-shirts he's producing, and he's offering them up to anybody in the industry who wants them. But the cool part is all the proceeds he gets from it, he's donating to a local cause. Can't remember if it's an animal shelter or what, but it's animal related. And so if you guys see that on social media and you want to support it, it'd be a good thing to do.
Matter of fact, I shared it onto my Facebook. So if you want to go over and do that, at the end of the show today, I'll go ahead and share it now since we're talking about it. For every 5 that you guys buy, we'll buy one. And so if you guys buy 50, we want you to buy 100. But we're going to go in there and we want to take and help him raise. It's for a good cause. It's great. So many of us are animal lovers, right? I think this is a great thing that William's doing, and we want to support it. And so get in there. It's a cool looking shirt too. And guys, he's taken out is the cost of the shirt and giving basically the cost of the shirt. It's double. So he's matching that as a giveaway to the rescue. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So hey, so at some point today, I'm gonna share some pillars at some point during this talk, just depending on where we're at. This one's gonna go a little long. This is a really important message, but I'm gonna share some pillars that we put into action in all of our businesses. And really, it's been for I learned this at a really young age. And so we're going to share those at some point. So I really want you to pay attention. If you're a note taker, this would be a great time to take mental notes. Get your cell phone out if you're working and listening to this, and just jot down some notes, mind map this out. So, first off, when I started my journey, I was called so many things, and really I've had 3 times in my life where I was launching. When I was a kid, I got teased because, all the other kids are going and doing things and going to the movies and playing and stuff like that. And at an early age, here I am out, washing and detailing planes. And I didn't do just that. I had I did lawns. I did anything. I pulled weeds. I watered trees. I cleaned up this grocery store. We had a little strip mall, and I did all the cleanup on that. And so there's a lot of things I did at a young age. But here are some of the things that I want to see if you guys can relate to, is that, and I want to recognize this because I want you to take and be able to compartmentalize when people say this to you. And namely, it's a lot of friends and family that'll do it. But I heard a lot that, hey man, you're a dreamer, you're a dreamer. Go get a real job. Don't stop wasting your time. This is never going to happen. Why would you do that? Why would you be interested in even doing that for a living? Come on, man. These businesses, these type of small businesses don't go anywhere. The failure rate is 90%. You'll never make money at doing what you're doing. It's below you. That one used to piss me off. It's below you. I got called a loser a lot, that I was never going to make it. And this is the one that cracked me up, is that your ego is big and you can't accomplish these things. You think too highly of yourself, and it's not possible. And then this one I heard a lot: you will fail. And I want to tell you right now is that use that as your fuel. And if you've got people telling you that, immediately I stopped hanging out with those people. Even if it was family, I didn't move them out of my life. I didn't relocate the people in my life. But what I did do is I didn't talk business with them anymore. I let them watch me with their own eyes, and my success was my proof. That's all I needed. I didn't rub it in their face. I didn't say I told you so. And I continue to, because there's people maybe right now that are going to listen to this that never believed I could or would. And at times, honestly, I didn't believe I would or I could, but I kept pushing through. And so I want you to, if you're hearing those things right now, get them out of your mind and use them as fuel. Use them as a positive. When I hear these things and I hear other people tell me that, is that, you know what, you can't defend it, because most people are jealous in reality of what you're about ready to do, or you're doing, or you've done. Now, the other thing is that don't wait for wealth. That's one of the biggest mistakes I made, was waiting for the wealth to happen. Wealth starts the second that you make a buck. And how wealth starts at the second you make a buck is how frugal you are, is how wise you are with your money and what you're doing with your money. Let me qualify this. I'm not a get rich quick person. Don't believe in it. Never have. Never will be. Do people do it? Yeah. I'm a big fan of multi-level marketing. I think it's amazing how people have started these companies and are successful at it. But I was never cut out to do it, but I studied it a lot. But I've never been a get rich quick person. So if you're here to get pumped up on me telling somebody that how to go out and do it very quickly, I'm not that recipe. I don't have that recipe in me. That's somebody else sitting in the right seat at a tech company, and it's not me. If you want to learn how to use your hands and your mind, I'm that guy.
I'm sure there's some exceptions to it, but it does seem like when you watch people out there in the world that get rich quick, they also tend to be the ones that get poor quick.
Well, I'll tell you, and I cover that too, Chris, and it's exactly true. They do a lot of things quick, and there's people that, I remember a guy rubbing it in our face. We were detailing all of this stuff, man. This guy was sitting back when the tech industry blew up, late 90s, early 2000s. I remember this guy. He was about my age. He was, at that time I was in my 30s, and man, dude, he was rolling. He had a private jet, not a big one, but he had a private damn jet. He had nice cars. He had a nice house. He had nice girlfriends that his wife found out about. So he had a nice divorce. And the dude was not sincerely successful. He was sitting in a right seat at the right time and made a bunch of money and destroyed his life. And I'll never forget, he used to kind of rub our nose in the fact that we are his servants, and I'll never forget when the tech bubble burst and he owed me money. They came to repo his plane, and I ended up I saved them from repoing his plane for a little bit, but traded him because he owed me money, and I got his Harley Davidson motorcycle in trade. I didn't get the cash he owed me, but I got a bike and I was able to sell it. And I made some money on it. But I just remember, that's a great point, is that guy was a high roller and hit it quick, and man, it was gone quick. He got in trouble really fast because the big money payouts stopped. When the tech industry, that company that owed him so much money for being in the right seat at the right time, went away. There was no payout anymore. He was broke. He was just a regular Joe. And he I don't know where he went. I really don't care because he's mean. But he I'm guessing that he probably didn't come back from that, to your point. So how I came into money was a combo of old school hard work and some serious foundation building in my youth. Now, I'm going to tell you there's a lot easier way to do it than I did it. And there's a lot faster way to do it. But it's still not going to be overnight. There's a young man, and I've talked to him several times, and I use this example. And let me tell you, he's come up and owned it because he's heard me talk about it on the podcast and on different videos and stuff. This is a couple years ago. He came up, he's very successful young guy, early 20s, and said, "Hey, I have to replace my income in 6 months. Can I do it?" And I was like, "Well, what's your income?" And he goes, I clear about 200,000 a year. And I was like, "No, dude, 6 years, maybe. Yeah, even that's going to be pushing it." And so he explained to me that he was a pretty smart guy, and he was respectful, that he's a pretty smart guy, and that he appreciated my input, but he's going to go try to make it happen. And I talked to him about a year and a half later, and he was still in the game. He was still in small business. He didn't achieve his goal, but I'll tell you what, he hit about halfway there. And it took him a little more than 6 months to hit $100,000 of income, but that was pretty impressive. So it can be done, but can you take and maintain that? And is it scalable? And can you continue to do it? And that's the question. I'm not kidding you. I've probably cost myself millions and millions of dollars by not being slicker, by not being more chasing the money, about not being more about the game. I could have gone into and been a stockbroker at a young age, and I just felt slimy. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I couldn't do forceful sales. I couldn't do, if I didn't believe in it, I couldn't sell it. And I've probably cost myself millions because it could have done really well. You're going to see my dogs running around today too, because we talk about dogs with William. So I wanted to keep my dogs around. So they're so he's running around. Plus, this is really cool, Chris, because there's the big one too. Hey, boom. And so he's about ready to turn 13 here in a bit. I watched a lot of the Get Rich Quick gang. I witnessed divorces, suicide breakdowns, mental breakdowns, complete loss of everything that they called riches. And I'll tell you what, it really spooked me at a young age of going down that road. I did not want to do that. So decide now, early and young in your business, not young in age necessarily, but young in your business. And this might not be your first endeavor. Am I chasing the money? Am I chasing the fame? Am I chasing the fortune? Or am I wanting to build a lifestyle business with a legacy? Because I'll tell you what, my goal was to build something new and bigger in detailing when I started attention to details. My goal was never to have any amount of fame or to become mega wealthy off of detailing alone. I knew I could do it by having multiple streams of income, and that detailing was going to be one of them, which is exactly what I did. But the fame part and the name and lights was never a plan. It happened. It happened. And as it happened, I saw opportunity and I seized it. But don't confuse, here's the other thing, don't confuse wealth with riches. Chasing riches can be a soul sucker. I've had small little windows of going after that because there's opportunity. And I'm going to tell you what, man, is my eyes got dark, straight out. I'm not kidding you. Is that it just didn't go well for me. Those looking for shortcuts usually fail. Quick riches many times creates desperate moves. Desperate moves creates a culture that won't support your long-term endeavors. Let me tell you, I've been in desperate positions before throughout my career, in the early days, a little more often. I repeat, do not put yourself in desperate situations. Financial struggles is going to be one of the biggest things that you can do that will do that to you. So instead, take the time and build a solid foundation from day one of your business. If you're in business right now and you're already doing well, but you want to get to the next level, slow the roll down and do it right. Now, rapid growth and instant riches. It can happen, but I've invested in a lot of different industries, and I've seen 1/1000% actually do it. It's a very, very, very small number. I've seen thousands of wannabe millionaires come and go during my entire career. It doesn't matter what industry I was in. I've seen thousands that are going to take and go make their claim. It's almost like the gold rush of the 1800s. Everybody was going to go out and dig their mine, claim their mine, and go out and make millions. And they dug and they dug and they dug. And the only thing they had is a broken body, a broken soul, and no money in their pocket. And so what I'm telling you now is don't give up. And there's no fucking way in the world that I'm telling you to not slow down and not have a image. I'm just saying you better get your foundation right for that next level. Now, here's the other thing about foundations. It takes time to build a foundation. And at every level of success that you hit, guess what needs to be done? You've got to reinforce that foundation, especially if you're starting out very, very humbled and with not a lot of assets, is that as you start building to the next level, you might not be prepared for it mentally, physically, emotionally, or education-wise. You might not know how to manage that kind of money. You need to take and learn how to do that and build that foundation up so that you can handle that funds and you don't do something silly with it. Now, what I mean by silly is like paying too much taxes. Is that gets people into trouble if you don't have a good CPA and you don't know your shit at every level of growth. People don't understand that when you start getting more successful, the tax bracket you go into changes. And so you've got to be prepared for that and have the right professionals around you to help you guide you through those times. Don't just think that every step you take that's on the ladder up, on the rung up, listen, the fall's greater the higher you get. But yet, if you've got that ladder on solid foundation and you keep reinforcing it and add concrete to it, making it a little bigger and making it a little deeper, bringing the right people on, guess what? You're not going to fail. You're not going to stress out. Because I came to Chris will verify this year. I came to him and Diane and said, listen, these are areas that I'm stinking. These are areas I need help in. And, Chris, part of it, Chris could help step in. Part of it, Diane could. But really what we needed was an in-depth financial team to help me. And we got that. And Chris, could you see an instant change in me when that was put into place?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely.
It's part of that foundation I'm talking about. So what we did is we went out and we had been using the same CPA for a number of years. And I think he was a little stale, nothing wrong with him, great CPA. But we went out and found a accounting and CPA firm that put everything on the screen of my phone. So at any time during the day, I can go in and look at my finances. It's updated a couple times a week. And I get a monthly report. I get it every 2 weeks. I get a little kind of snapshot of what it's going to look like at the end of the month. It tells me exactly where I should kind of be leery at. They ask me questions. Hey man, last month your expenses went up by X amount. What did you do? So we understand, and what was your mindset when you did that? Okay. Is again, we'll take and we'll give a little, look at that, just a little bit. See it right there. Boom. How many times did I tell you, Chris? Only if the CPA approves it. And we checked in right before we pulled the trigger on that to make sure that the Trump tax advantages that President Trump had put into place hadn't been canceled out yet, so that we make sure to qualify. I didn't want to do something without having I thought of it very professional. I thought of it as how rich people, how wealthy people think of things. And that's what I talk to my financial professionals before I make moves. So now decide again, what kind of business are you going to do? And I know a lot of you, you're young, you're aggressive. That's okay. Be young and aggressive. Go after it hard. But don't forget to live a life and put a smile on your face and put a smile on the face of people around you constantly. The other thing is that don't just take and chase wealth, chase mental wealth, chase physical wealth, chase happiness. All that's part of being wealthy. Rich is the easy part. Being healthy and happy and wealthy is the other part. So now let's chasing riches can be a soul sucker. Let's go back into that. Looking for shortcuts usually fail. Quick riches many times creates desperate moves and a bad culture. Man, I'll tell you what, I'm so guilty of that through the years, especially in my young years. Not very much as I got more mature. I'm going to say from 40 on. When I hit 40, I seemed to really calm down, Now I look at myself even at 50. 5 years later, I've really calmed down from 5 years ago, and really got into a slide. And the reason why is I don't put myself into uncomfortable positions. I've learned that once those spidery senses go off and the hair on the back of your neck comes up, you know when you shouldn't put yourself in the positions, and I don't do it anymore. So instead, take the time, build that foundation. Now, rapid growth. Let's go back over that. Now, wannabes. Listen, I was a wannabe millionaire. I thought I was going to be, when I sold my first company, I thought, oh man, I'll be a millionaire in 4 or 5 years. At the age of 20, by my mid 20s, done. I went out and chased it, tried to make it happen. And thank God, within about 8 or 9 months, I went, okay, this is going to be a little harder than what I think. And it's going to take me a little longer than what I think. And I need to slow roll because right now I don't have a life. And I'm hating life and I'm stressed out and I'm too young to do that. It doesn't, listen, stress and worry, it's not worth it, guys. I don't care what age you're at. Everybody says, oh, go out and all these gurus, man, go out while everybody else, man, 16, 18 hours a day, I'm hustling. That will only last you so long before you go through a major burnout.
Yep.
A major burnout. It's only going to last you so long, guys. And I'm telling you right now, you're no different. And I'm going to go over that here in a second. Now, Chris, we've seen people literally burst at the seams going at business the wrong way. Both of us have faced many of the items below that we're going to mention right now and have firsthand knowledge of this. So some of you are going to say, yeah, Renny, you're weak. When you mention these things, you're weak. Let me just, you think I'm weak? That's fine, you can. But let's share with you my 30 years of seeing death really up close and personal of some people that got pretty hunked up. Okay, so I've had over 100 air insertions via helicopter into some pretty interesting situations. I've been on 100 missing aircraft search operations. I've leaped out of perfectly good aircraft into some pretty tough spots. I think I'm pretty opposite of that shit gets to me. It really doesn't. What gets to me most is the things I'm going to talk about right now. Now, some of the unattractive results of overwork and trying to build it instantly. Stress. It's going to kill you. It's going to affect you. Probably a major reason why my thyroid completely grenaded. Depression. I'm going to tell you right now is that I faced in at different pockets starting as early as 2001. And then again, I got it kind of straightened out. But by 2008, I was really 2007. I was going down a rat hole into a rabbit hole to rabbit hole to rabbit hole, trying to get myself out of the funk. And all I kept doing was digging deeper. And the depression.
Well, the depression is directly related to the stress, and the stress comes from a number of different sources in business.
It does. For me, the financial side of it was, and not that we weren't doing good. It was just the opposite. It was out of control. I didn't build the foundation. I was like standing, instead of building a nice big island to stand on for my financials, I was still on the same little tiny brick that I'd built 20 years before that. And the brick couldn't hold the tension and couldn't hold all of our needs. And I was still looking at the financial side like I did of a tiny company. We weren't a tiny company anymore. And so I went into stress, depression. I didn't like where I was. I didn't like that. There was just so many things. And here I was, big, 36 employees. I just sold another company for $750,000. What's wrong? Everybody's going, wow, what's wrong with you? You know what? I'd overstressed myself out. I'd worked too much. I'd worked too hard. And my interest had swallowed down to where it was a funnel with barely anything getting back. And what happened was that oxygen line coming back up to me was completely cut off. Relationship issues is I could have destroyed everything. My wife, my relationship with my kids, my mom, everything, friends, and it was tough. And what I kept trying to do is put everybody first and not tell people the truth. I was going through extreme burnout, and I'm going to tell you right now, I came very close to having a complete breakdown. So much to the thought pattern, I was so defeated that I was actually contemplating suicide. And here I was, at looking back when I was young, I'd gotten everything I wanted. but I built it on a tiny little foundation, and I just outsourced and out-resourced the foundation to where I couldn't control it anymore. So let's talk about the slow, precise, and smooth options instead. New, experienced, or seasoned, never stop making yourself better equipped for business and success and wealth. I don't care where you're at in your business. I'm going to repeat that. I don't care if you're new. I don't care if you're expanding. I don't care if you're seasoned. Is that you have constantly got to take and improve everything around you. You can't just keep it as business as usual. You've got to move ahead. You've got to get smarter. You've got to get more dedicated. You've got to be able to see things out of 360 degrees out of your head. You've got to get out of your head. You've got to be able to get way above things and take a look. And you need to be open-minded enough that you don't know it all. You've got to take and go back to the very early stages. And we do this in our businesses quite constant as we dream, vision, plan, and execute. Is when you dream, sometimes your dream can become a little bit of a nightmare because you were very successful. I often say that when I met Bob and Dave Phillips 10 years ago, and then almost 6 years ago when we joined forces, and then 5 years ago when Double Black launched, is that, Dave and Bob both wanted to take and grow P&S. We were very successful at that, but in the meantime, we destroyed their lifestyle. Is we built this company that had been doing very well into the company that was doing exceptionally well, and it stressed us all out a little bit. So what we've had to do is regather ourselves, not slow down. Matter of fact, increase the pace, bring the right team on, but we had to take and rebuild our foundation. And when you grow like that, is what happens is that you can't stop. You can't tear down your building to build the new foundation. You've got to be doing construction on your foundation while you're still conducting business. And so you've got to bring in the right people to the positions and the right systems and processes from people that know it. And then you got to, at all costs, and this, I'll tell you, we went on a meeting last week, and one of the things I really talked about was protecting our culture and how important it is. Your culture and your personality is most likely what won people over. We're going to talk about that in a second too. And if your personality and your own personal culture changes a little bit, that could take and deactivate a whole lot within your business operation and within your success. So read. I read 10 to 20 books a year. Audible books have made it a lot easier. And so you've got to take and continually educate yourself and make yourself a wiser person. The other thing is turn off the damn TV and media. I want to tell you right now, and it's not doing you, especially at this juncture in our history, it ain't doing you any good. And if you find yourself getting caught in it, turn it off. I took a 4-month hiatus from Facebook. I just had enough, and I just disappeared. And now what I did is I just learned, I hate to say it, I don't look around at Facebook. I post to let people know I'm alive, but Facebook is just, it's gotten, I don't know if I said it's gotten better, would that be a right term or no?
I actually was thinking about that the other day. My feed has gotten better. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I've managed it better or if the people in it are just, realizing the same thing. But I'm seeing a lot less garbage than I used to.
And I think that's it, is I'm seeing a lot of more cool, like, business stuff that I enjoy, happy stuff. And so it's made me want to engage it a little more again. And so, maybe it's just me not accepting the BS, right? Or maybe everybody's at the same juncture, and coming down to it. Reinforcing your foundations is a must again and again and again. Study people. Of everything that I've ever done is that you need to learn the personality traits of different people and how to deal with them. There's a time is that I used to be a lot more hot-headed than I am now. Yesterday I kind of lost it. We have a company that we've done business with forever. Matter of fact, it's I won't name their name just because I don't want them to throw a fit because they're big, but they deliver water to our facility, drinking water. And the dude, their delivery system, the water cooler had broken and it was down, and I had to clean up a mess. No big deal. I didn't care. So when he came, I asked him if he could drop it off in the front, and he goes, "Well, no, I can't go 5 feet away from my truck. I got cameras on it." And I said, "Well, can you just drop it? I mean, I'm not asking to just drop it at the front door of the shop." No, I'm going to drop it right here. And he basically refused, just out of pure laziness. And so I told him to pick his shit up and take it and shove it up his bunghole. After he just unloaded a whole bunch of water, I was like, "Hey, if you're going to be that way, I don't want it. There's other sources. I'm not going to take mediocre service. I would never offer that level of service, nor am I going to accept it." And so by the other means, we just had some work done. One of the things in our house, we bought this. We love our property, right? Chris, we had the suckiest closet. We're talking about that. So we had a new closet line because, and oh my God, it turned out awesome. Those guys were here until 8:30 last night. And man, we tipped them. We gave them water. We gave them munchies. They were sweethearts. They did a great job. I couldn't even tell. Matter of fact, the closet was cleaner when they left than it was when they got there. That is outstanding service. That is outstanding way to take care of business. They're the employees. And so today, guess what I'm going to do? The other company, I called, still haven't heard back from them. Put a complaint in. When I called them yesterday, I wanted to talk to a representative. Due to COVID, there's a lesson to be learned here. We are experiencing a higher level of calls, and your wait, and then it comes on, it says automated, 3 hours and 15 minutes. And I was like, yeah, I'm not sitting on the damn phone for 3 hours and 15 minutes. So we sent an email. Still haven't heard anything. This company, they're responsive. They're awesome. Guess what I'm going to do today? I'm going to call these guys, find out who their supervisor is, and tell them how badass their staff did.
There you go.
That's the way it should be.
So we got one question. I do, and I know a few people out in podcast land there. How many black shirts did you count coming out of that closet remodel?
Shit, man. So you saw that. I'll go I'm going to guess it was about 100. About 100 between the shirts, the hoodies, and some of them. It was really cool though, because I found some really cool shirts I hadn't seen in a couple years. And when we moved in here, my mom was just getting sick. So I want to say maybe there's some shirts in there that I hadn't seen in a while. Some really cool industry shirts, that I'm going to pull out of the, out of the stack and start wearing again, get them into rotation. It was pretty awesome. So those that don't know, is I put a story up yesterday, and it just says, man, I got a lot. My whole bed was covered in black shirts and hoodies.
It was a lot.
It was just covered. Become wise by hanging out with very wise people. This is one of the lessons I learned at a very young age. Again, I'm not a partier. I've never really been a drinker. I've never, it's funny, we got a bar in my shop, right? I have never gone to a bar. I doubt you have either, Chris. I've never gone to a bar, sat up there, and ordered a drink from the bartender. Never, not once in my life. Because, and I have nothing. Diane does. I mean, she's a little bit, when she wants to be, right? And I'm just kidding, Diane. But she likes to have a good time in moderation, and I love her too, because it relaxes me. I can be a little uptight, right? Because I don't do that. So when I get in those situations, I feel a little uncomfortable. I'm looking around like, damn, I don't belong here. And then my wife starts letting loose a little bit. I'm like, okay, I belong here. This is gonna be fun. It's okay. But while everybody else was at the bar partying, I was building my knowledge with wiser older people. I was taking, believe it or not, I went to a lot of multi-level marketing meetings and studied. And if I was new in business today, there wouldn't be a night. 4 nights a week, I would be at a meeting of some sort, whether it be chamber, and everybody, I got a horrible chamber of commerce. Well, go make it great. They're waiting for you. You can do it. You can do it. I'd be at Rotary Club. I'd be at, Business Network, BNI, or the TIP. I would be at Toastmasters, and I'd be studying multi-level marketing companies. I'd go to meetings and watch them draw circles and lines and X's and O's and all the shit they do. I love the way that they represent people. And so that if you want success, go hang out with people that are as eager about success as you are. But more importantly, go hang out and find somebody that's been there, done that. And find somebody, if homeboy or homegirl is not willing to take and share with you right now some of my struggles and the things that they went through, if they're just giving you the good side, shit, walk away. That's not the mentor or coach you want. So it's funny. My dogs hear your dogs, and they're coming running over here looking at the computer like, Hey, what's up?
Yeah, I might have barking at something.
Mentors. I'll tell you what, to this day, matter of fact, I'm getting off of here. I woke up this morning and I was thinking of one of my mentors, one of my good friends. I haven't talked to him in a few weeks, and I'm going to call him as soon as we're off here. I'm just going to call him and say hi. Mentors and people in your life, the importance of that, and I'm talking real, and you just can't use them for that, man. You got to, a good mentor, you won't look at him and say, wow, that'll be a good mentor. What you're going to do is you're going to take the time to build a relationship up with people. Then you're going to start seeing their value as a mentor. Because here's the deal. I don't want somebody that only gets 180 degrees, meaning just business. I want to have somebody that gets 360 degrees, meaning they know how to freaking enjoy life. Because let me tell you, man, I'll go back to the stress points. We got a couple things in common. You were born. Second thing's taxes. Third thing's death. Hey, Chris, are you locked up? I'm going to keep going because I think Chris just locked up. So now from there is have confidence in yourself. This is one of the things that I was really, really missing back in the early days, is that I just didn't have confidence in myself. And I think that really, again, if you want to talk in terms, I think it cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars of not understanding that I could go make it happen. So understand you can go make it happen. Be confident in yourself, not cocky in yourself, but confident in yourself. And then this is really important. I mention it all the time, is you've got to understand finances and you've got to understand your profit and loss statements. You've got to take and understand business math, business numbers, and what it means to you. You've got to know what your costs are, what your expenses are, what you're making money at, and what you're not making money at. Confirmation of skills. This is huge, both in business and if you're in a labor-intense industry like detailing, is that, you know, your customers, your mom's always going to tell you you're good. Your cousins are always going to tell you you're good. The customers that like you are always going to tell you you're good. But are you good and efficient? And so you need confirmation of that. Is go out and find confirmation. Am I good? Am I efficient? Am I proficient? And what am I doing right and wrong? Is that here all these years later into this is I'm still going after confirmation that I know what I'm doing. I'm still involved in mentoring groups, still going out, is that I allow other people in the industry. Jason Rose was just here. I was a student. I listened to him. I watched. I learned so much more. And days later, I put the things I learned from Jason Rose being here into action in our own training. Even Chris saw it. Is I took and things I'd learned 48 hours before that, I'd brought into the training that quickly. And so you never know it all. I'm a sponge. I want to know more, especially about business and people. I hate to say it, the technical hand side of it is the easy side. The people skills side of it, the marketing side of it, the business side of it, those are all the struggle sides of it. Do not value you. Do not take and value your value by looking at others. Let me tell you, most of the people they're full of shit. They're not making what they're making. They're not doing what they're doing. And if they've got that much time to be posting on social media all the time, I can tell you what, they've either made it in a big way or they're fibbing. Simple as that. I'm going to tell you straight out true, is that the people that I really admire in business, most of them have a marketing team. A lot of what we put up on the internet, I have nothing to do with. It's just it's Chris sitting right here with me. Even on my personal stuff, I'm gonna own it. When Chris sees me go a little dormant for a little while, he jumps on it. And so if you've got somebody that's really that you admire and they're constantly online, I'm not saying that they're bullshitting, but something's not adding up unless they've got a marketing team behind them. Takeaways, okay? Oh, let's go back up to this one real quick. I got one more thing when I added this in. Is you got to know your market, the people in your market, what your market habits are, and you got to start influencing that market. You can actually change an entire market with your business. And a perfect example of this, and I tell it all the time, is you look at McDonald's. I guarantee you McDonald's. I'll give you another analogy after this. McDonald's looked at his business usually. Were they always trying to improve? Yeah. They're adding things, constantly. And I'm not a big fan, first off. I love their business, how scalable it is. I love what they've done. But I think they look at them. Think they look at Chick-fil-A and go, shit, they're shrinking in certain markets while Chick-fil-A is blowing up in those same markets. So what's wrong with that? Another one is the largest. Hey, Chris, what what are probably, I don't know, 70% of the world order from right now? What's a primary source for almost anything you need?
You mean Amazon?
Oh yeah, that little company. Let me tell you a company that was even, I mean, dollar wise wasn't bigger, but was just as powerful over 100 years ago. Sears. Basically, Amazon is an online catalog company.
Yep.
When Amazon popped up, what Sears should have done is said, hold on, time to reinvent ourselves. We're going to take that 1887 catalog, we're going to bring it up to 2007 standards, and we ain't going to let these people in. We're going to take over that market. Sears is gone.
Yeah. Not only did they not do that, they didn't even bother reinvesting into their brick and mortar stores.
No, they're gone. I mean, they just you saw a new entity that understood technology and then created a program that would guarantee shipping, which is complete horse-shit now. I don't know why any of us have a Prime account. I mean, there's very little we can get by Prime up here anymore.
Yeah.
We still pay the damn fee, here later. And so check that out. So here's what I want to do is I want to thank PNS Double Black for their sponsorship. William, Laura, make sure to go over to my Facebook page. William's post is run on my personal one. We'll make sure to put it over on the Detailing Success too.
Yep.
And make sure to get it up there. Pillars, guys, I want you to take and really listen to this, okay? These are the things, and I preach this in trainings. I preach this wherever I go. 3 things you're going to concentrate on. Relationships is number 1. Is you want to take and treat every relationship like gold, because it is. Within that relationship, you want to take and learn you got to be a chameleon. You've got to be able to fit into any environment that you walk into. I wasn't born with money, didn't understand money. Matter of fact, the first time that I went to a really nice restaurant, I went with my girlfriend, and they went to it was called Cast and Cleaver. It was kind of, I don't even know how to explain Cast and Cleaver, kind of a fancy Denny's maybe. And they had a salad bar, and I'd never seen a salad bar before. 16. And so my girlfriend's walking me through their family. I'm totally out of place because I've never been anywhere this nice before. And there's bread there, and there's bread, but how the hell do you cut it? You got to cut it yourself. So she explains that you have to take the towel, put the towel over, and then cut the bread. That way you don't touch, the bread with your hand. I was like, okay, that's cool. So I'm looking around. I'm nervous as can be. I lay the towel down on it. I go to crank through to cook my bread and cut right through my finger. Blood all over the place. It was, shut down the salad bar. It was horrible. That was my, I was like, well, there goes that one. They're never taking this kid from the other side of the tracks anywhere again. But at that point, I started being able to read people. I had to start fitting in with a different part of society that I was not used to being around, nor were they used to being around me. So number 1, those relationships is huge. Number 2 is I don't care what it comes down to in business. It starts with relationships. It goes to you. You've got to take and work on you. You've got to constantly improve yourself. And then lastly, number 3 is everything in marketing is about you and relationships. So 1, relationships, 2, you, final 1, 3 is marketing. Every time that you go in and you have an opportunity to market yourself, you're going to market yourself. But you've got to learn how to do it in a classy, positive, I like the soft touch. I've always called it a soft touch approach to marketing. I've never been an in-your-face marketer, desperate. I always wanted to make people feel like I gave them good information to make a buying decision. I did great follow-up and so forth, but I never pushed. I was never a heavy closer. I was a soft closer. What I mean by that is that when I talk to people, is I'd say, so, hey, what are you thinking? I've got, next Tuesday available on my schedule. That was as hard a close I ever did. And I really believe in that. So again, really concentrate on those relationships, concentrate on you, and make it all about marketing. So with that, go over to support William and his effort with animals. It's a pretty cool thing. Really excited. So, hey, as always, make sure that you hit the like button, subscribe to us, share it if you've gotten something out of this. Is we'd love to have you share it with on your feed and so forth. Let us know of anything else topic-wise that you'd like to hear about, and make sure to watch. We've got some news coming up, and again, I'll take in just a little bit, the teaser there of what's going on there. So, all right, guys. Hey, Chris, have a good day. We'll see you. We'll see you Sunday. And
Yep.
Boy, we got a busy week next week, huh?
Sure do.
It'll be fun though. It's going to be fun. We're going to do some really fun marketing up there too, and reach out. So, all right, guys. Hey, happy detailing, everybody. God bless. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Yep. Bye, guys.